What exactly is the work you guys are doing? What are microscopic technologies that are working inside the human body or will work inside the human body?
Yeah, very excited to be here today as well. So what you're doing in our group, we are fusing the fields of electronics, specifically nanoelectronics, with applied physics and biology to build tiny nanoelectronic chips which can seamlessly integrate with our body and brain. This can diagnose disease or treat diseases which even drugs cannot fix. So one example of such a technology we have built is the world's first autonomous and non-surgical brain implant. So existing brain implants require creating a hole in the skull and putting a centimeter scale probe in. That's highly invasive, and because of the surgery-related risks and hundreds and $1,000s of surgery costs, that's only limited to less than 1% of the patients. So millions of people suffering from devastating neurological conditions have impossible choices, either to go through this very risky brain surgery or live with debilitating symptoms which drugs cannot fix. So to overcome these challenges, what we have built are tiny electronic devices which can travel through our body fluids. They can autonomously recognize a disease region in the brain, disease regions which may not be even visible through imaging technologies. And these devices can self-implant in these disease regions. And then we wirelessly power these devices to provide precise electrical stimulation to treat diseases which are even resistant to drugs. So while existing technologies, as I mentioned, are only limited to less than 1% of the patients because of surgery-related risks and costs, we are breaking the barriers of age, health risks, and costs which are currently preventing millions from getting treatments. So we envision a future where these life-saving technologies will be accessible to all.
Help me understand where we are in this process. So part of what you described sounds so fantastical, sounds like it stands to upend or radically change the way that we pursue medicine. Are we at the conceptual stage here? What have you been able to sort of prove as concept here as you've been working on these technologies?
We have already demonstrated this technology very robustly in animals already. So we have already built these tiny nanoelectronic devices. We have shown right now that they have record power conversion efficiency, so they can work deep inside the brain. We have also demonstrated that they have the capability of traveling through the body fluids, autonomously recognize a target region in the brain. Also, we have shown that they can very precisely electrically stimulate the brain. So these are already demonstrated in our animal models. A paper is will be coming out in few weeks. And we are also translating these technologies, very interested in translating these technologies to humans. So we have not only shown this as a platform technologies to stimulate this brain, but we have also results in multiple diseases.
Professor Sarkar, because we only have about 3 minutes or so left, I just want to jump ahead. So what do you envision in the future, that all of us get an implant or something and it's kind of moving around our body, detecting things? Or how might this play out? And I am curious about what it would cost.
So electronics now will, is so cheap that you can have it in your shoes. Millions of these devices can be made with less than $10. So as I mentioned, that in our lab, we have already shown this technology is helpful for multiple diseases, including brain cancer, chronic pain, and Alzheimer's. In the area of brain cancer, and then we work with terminal cancers like glioblastoma or DIPG, where these are terminal cancers, means the patients, when they're diagnosed with these cancers, they have no other hope. Radiation does not work. Chemotherapy does not work. People die within 12 to 18 months. We have shown that with our technology, with precise bioelectrical stimulation, you can completely halt the growth of brain cancer where other technologies will not work.
Wow.
That can increase the survival rate of patients to more than 85%. Also in Alzheimer's disease, we have shown that you can prevent the formation of the Alzheimer's itself. So it it can lead to preventative technology.
Which would be unbelievable, because I feel like there's certain diseases out there, right? And that all of the medical world and pharmaceutical industry is trying to figure out how to deal with. Having said that, you know, in this segment, we often talk about the gaps that are out there in terms of women's health, the spending on R&D, the gaps that are out there. How might this help in terms of diagnosing things that are certainly specific to women only?
Yeah, so taking the example of brain cancer, so if you think of breast cancer, that is horrible. But when breast cancer metastasizes to the brain, currently there is no cure. It becomes terminal. And our work on brain cancer showing that you can completely halt the growth of brain cancer, that is helpful for women. For Alzheimer's disease as well, women are actually at twice the risk of getting any kind of neurodegenerative diseases compared to men. So all these technologies we are building are also very, very relevant to women. And I should also mention that all our work are actually being supported by family members of patients, family members who have suffered a loss of their near and dear ones.
Yeah.
So we feel very supported. And for example, just recently I got an email from a father who was talking about his 10-year-old daughter who has this terminal brain cancer called DIPG, and just seeing his daughter going to a certain death. So you're very committed and dedicated to taking this technology to humans, and we plan to start clinical trials in the next 3 years.